I'm Keith Baker, creator of Eberron, and you're listening to Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
This week, Morrus, PJ, and Jessica talk about the Planestrider's Journal for Level Up Advanced 5th Edition. In the news, a Tomb Raider RPG from Evil Hat is coming in 2025, Shadow of the Weird Wizard has been released, Free League announces a new edition of Coriolis, and more. Plus, a brand new sketch about a bard with an unconventional instrument choice. This week on Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
Buy one ticket to the Loincloth Museum on Bargle Street today and get free entry for the whole year. Yes, you can visit the Loincloth Museum as often as you like and immerse yourself in the wonderful world of loincloths. Browse the many loincloth exhibits and marvel at the different shades and textures. It's a truly wonderful day out. A warning, do not touch the loincloths. They haven't been washed. Ever.
All the tabletop role-playing news. We aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG.
Hello, and welcome to Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morrus, or Morrus, aka Russ, and I'm suffering from a really bad cold, so I apologise if my voice sounds any more weird than usual this week. And with that aside, with me is
PJ Coffey from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Russ, as ever, it is a delight to be. And also joining us, with tea that is so hot it is the subject of several lawsuits. It's the one, it's the only,
It's me, Jessica from EM Publishing. I do have a cup of tea here in front of me, but I don't have too much spicy tea this week.
No.
In terms of gossip and news, I'm afraid. So sorry to disappoint the listeners if you were like, wow, Jess is going to drop some bombshells this week. No.
No, it's a quiet news week this week, but after last week, I think that's a good thing. We'll have a nice light-hearted episode this week.
Yeah, because last week was quite heavy, and we recorded almost an extra hour beyond what we normally do.
We recorded for about 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how long the final episode was. I haven't checked, but
about 2 hours.
Yeah. Whoa, so we'll give you folks a break this week because you put in the work last week.
Well, I guess the bonus content's going to be pretty long. If there's like an hour of cut footage.
Oh my goodness! All right, do you want to hear about some
News.
I've forgotten the word. It begins with a C.
News? C? News? Controversial.
Yes. Non-controversial.
News.
Oh my god, I forgot. This episode's going to be good.
Uncontroversial.
Uncontroversial. That's
flailing for.
Oh my goodness. What? Oh, I drowned. I shouldn't just flail, I drowned. Anyway.
It's like I knew what you were trying to say.
I've got a piece of news for you. There is no controversy surrounding it. It's just some tabletop RPG news.
Unless something controversial happens while we're recording. And we have breaking controversial news.
It will happen at 5 p.m.
I would be surprised if that happened. But anyway, what it is. Yeah. So Evil Hat Publishing, not to be confused with Evil Genius Games. Because at a glance, I got confused by that for a second when I got the news thing. But no,
we talked about
Evil
last
Hat Publishing.
The other makes Fate. Yeah.
Exactly. So they make Fate, Blades in the Dark, different company, just to be clear, because I got confused. So they have announced an officially licensed RPG, which I didn't realise didn't have an official tabletop RPG till now, because I know we've had conversations about things that should. It's for the Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's based off the video games franchise, so like featuring Lara Croft, and obviously like that. But I think that could work for an RPG because, kind of dungeon crawling. Tomb Raider is running around dungeons, doing puzzles, traps, things like that. I'm surprised that there hasn't been like an official Tomb Raider.
Well, there hasn't even been a video game in years, has there?
A few years. There was one a while back. So,
it's a popular franchise, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is happening. So it's going to be crowdfunding in 2025 next year. So at the moment they're playtesting, but they are doing public playtests so people can get involved. Nice. So there's a link on EM World, we'll put in the show notes, where you can sign up if you want to be contacted for playtesting. But yeah. So yeah,
do we know which system it's using?
Yes. Yes.
We totally know what it is.
By which you mean no.
Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. We are severely decaffeinated.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm having a week. Yeah, I was off sick earlier this week, and I am back at work now, but I'm still not like fully.
Compass Mentors, absolutely. Yeah.
I found it. It is a mix of Powered by the Apocalypse and Blaze in the Dark.
That was the one. I knew I'd read it, but I couldn't see it in front of me, and I was like, my brain is gone. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting blend, because I'm curious as to how those blend. They've got some images of the character sheets, which Daryl put up earlier in an article.
Yeah, I've got them.
And so it looks like Powered by the Apocalypse in terms of how you create your character.
Is that article on the Ian World site yet?
It is, yes. It went up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It'll be up at the time of this podcast being released, because it's up at the time of the podcast being recording. But yeah, so that is coming off. And they're doing a promotion, Evil Hat, as well. So for like across all of their games on the website, they're giving a coupon for 20% off if you use the code Enter the Tomb. So if you if you're not interested in Tomb Raider but interested in other Evil Hat games, you can use that code.
You can still get that. Yeah. No, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Which is quite nice, because I don't actually have a physical copy of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. So that 20% off, I'm looking at it now going, ooh, that might be.
Now I will have.
Maybe now is the time. Because I've got the PDF, but I don't have the physical book.
Yeah. Yeah, Tomb Raider is one of the few video games I've actually played. But when I say Tomb Raider, I mean, like, 20 years ago Tomb Raider.
Oh, like original PlayStation style one or something.
Yeah. Like the very polygon-y one.
I mean, remember at the time that came out, I was like, wow, look at the graphics, they're so good. Because at the time they were, like, amazing. But now you look back and you're like, I don't know if I can play this, because it hurts.
I remember shooting a T-Rex a lot.
Yeah.
That's the only bit I can really remember from it.
I imagine it probably would need a lot of shooting.
I remember just playing around in her mansion a lot first, because they had, like, a training area in the mansion. So I ran around.
Oh, yeah, I remember that too.
A lot.
Yeah.
I just had a great time doing that sometimes, because sometimes that's all you need.
Let's talk about some weird wizards, shall we? Or not just the weird wizards themselves, but maybe the shadows thereof.
That they create.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. What a cryptic
shadows.
clue. What game could you be discussing?
I am discussing a game called Shadow of the Weird Wizard from Rob Schwab that has been on the EN World Most Anticipated list for about 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Yes.
It's finally out. You can grab the PDF from DriveThruRPG. It jumped right to the #1 spot on DriveThruRPG the day it came out as well.
Damn right.
You can go and grab it right now. Right now. So you did an interview with Rob.
I did.
A year ago, was it?
Yeah.
Or longer? Yeah.
Last year on Not D&D, so if people do want to hear Rob talking about it. Obviously, that was a year ago, so that was still when the game was in development, so not everything was finalised, but we were talking, like, you know, about the general design and bits and pieces. But so it's obviously a more family-friendly version of Shadow of the Demon Lord, but Rob also said there were things, as I think anyone that designs games, after a few years of playing it, you look at it and you're like, actually, I'd tweak this or do this different. Or so I think he also took the chance to do that with this game as well.
Yeah.
But also gave it a different kind of flavour as well. But like with any role-playing game, you can put any flavour you want on it. So if you wanted to use Shadow of the Demon Lord sort of setting and make it less family-friendly, you can, of course, run it that way with this rule set, because that's how games work.
This is like the player's handbook-ish of it. It doesn't actually say so on it, but there's 2 more books coming.
Yes.
Of the core set. Like the GM rules and I think monsters. I'm not 100% sure. I think monsters or a bestiary of some kind is coming as well. But this is like the player's handbook. It doesn't say it. It just says Shadow of the Weird Wizard on it, but it is the player's book.
Right. There we go.
Because a few people got confused about that, and it said, if you look in the reviews, a few people got confused going, oh, this isn't a complete game, and that's why. It's
all right, fair enough. Maybe it just needs it just needs a bit of a clearer blurb on DriveThruRPG, but so the listeners know that that's the case. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that's out.
Well, that's been coming for so long. I'm so glad it's out finally.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were really looking forward to that as well, and I don't really have a lot to say about it because I haven't downloaded it and had a read of it yet. But yeah, I would know a lot of people interested. Do the interview on Not D&D, so glad it's out and people can pick it up now.
Yeah, God, we really are short on news this week.
I still have some more.
I think that's not entirely true. I know for a fact that Sinuous Sentinels has come out for A5e. It's a heritage from the talented Peter Martin at Purple Martin Games. It's got like a whole pile of the bits and bobs that you would expect from Heritage. Let me bring it up now. You've got like 3 new cultures, which is of course one of those key parts of Level Up to make it more exciting. The Ancestral Garden, the Sinuous of the Desert, and the Swamp Sinuous as well. 3 new backgrounds, a new destiny, a new archetype for the Herald class, because say one thing for Peter Martin, he loves his Heralds. lawsuits.
So this is a serpentine heritage.
Yeah, a generic Herald Wizard multiclass synergy feat with advice for using it, character concepts get you started. A new combat tradition, 3 new magic items, and 3 sets of cultural gear. 1 for each culture. So there you go.
Yeah, so if you want serpenty player characters in your game, there's heritage and a whole bunch of stuff to go with it, basically.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. There was some Free League news. There's always some Free League news.
Yeah.
So Coriolis, the Great Dark, is coming to Kickstarter.
Yes,
It will
next month.
undoubtedly do incredibly well, because Free League always does, and it's a sci-fi RPG. It features exploration, mysteries, and intrigue at the far edge of space.
Yeah, so this carries on for Coriolis. The Third Horizon is already out, so this is like a follow-on to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Coriolis was really well received. It got like Spotlight Awards at the Ennies and things in 2017. So
Yeah. It's kind of like a second. Is it second edition, basically, kind of like, or is it an expansion?
So yeah, it follows on from that. So it's a different sort of setting and vibe, and it also has an adventure pack with it. So it is a sequel. So it's not exactly the same, but I think it's got the same name, so it's very much linked and things. But I think there are changes to it from what I've read in the press release.
Yeah, I like that. Inspired by 19th century polar expeditions, deep sea diving, and pulp archaeology.
Yeah, so I think it's that vibe in space.
In space!
In space.
I mean, it is an absolute banger of a year for science fiction and science fiction Kickstarters. Like, as we speak, Savage Worlds, which, as people know, is a fave of mine, their Adventurers Edition has got a fairly successful Kickstarter. It's funded, so very successful, by the way. I'd like to describe it, for their science fiction companion. So, yeah, good job at Pinnacle Entertainment Group. We have the announcement of, in May, the Kickstarter for the Voyage Runners Codex. So, quite frankly, I am like just jiggling away there. My inner dice goblin is like saying, yeah!
We're planning
concept
some
of science fiction.
I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
I think I do prefer sci-fi to fantasy. I think
Yeah, that's
it
fair
does
enough.
change. I do switch from one to the other, but I think my first love is sci-fi. I think.
I mean, I gotta say, I'm coming increasingly down the side of weird fiction, which mixes science and magic. I think the start of the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy film, the mix of science and black magic, I sat up and was like, we can do this, can't we? Yes.
So you're a Starfinder kind of.
I mean, and Starfinder Second Edition, like, this has me unreasonably excited. I can't tell you why. It's just, I'm like, maybe it will be amazing. I can't help my emotional reactions, man. That's just how it is. So, you know, we got 2024 sci-fi. It's popping, you know?
Absolutely. I'm doing lots of fun manufacturing, speaking of manufacturers, about stuff at Void Runners Codex. So we're thinking of doing something a bit different manufacturing-wise to make things pretty.
Exciting.
But yes, so... Yeah. But I'll wait till I actually have something to share on that before we do, because...
And since we're thinking of science fiction and so forth, you've got the multiversal concept, and maybe at some point we could talk about the Planestrider's journal. Is it Planestrider's journal?
Yes, we will very shortly.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll dive into that in depth in a minute.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, very, very short on news. Have you got any more?
I'm just quickly scrolling through any crowdfunding campaigns that...
Yeah, I was just doing that as well.
I
mean, there's a few, but nothing grabbed me.
I think I'd have to check that there's another release somewhere. I think Clark Peterson from Speak and Spells Entertainment has released the Selkie Heritage. Secrets of the Selkies, which has...
Oh, I thought that was coming. I didn't realise it was actually out now. Is that out now?
Is it live?
Has he not released it yet? Oh, okay.
I've no idea. Maybe.
My sources tell me, my source is Clark, so it's a fairly good one, is it's due out... I know, right? Due out tomorrow. So,
right, okay. So when people are listening to this podcast, it will be out.
Yeah, he's waiting to be verified or something. I don't know that much, but it's like, if you're listening
roll a d10 for how long that takes. Just sometimes it's taken weeks for us, and sometimes like the next day they're gone, yeah, this is fine, and I'm like, oh, cool, thank you.
Yes.
Evil Genius Games.
Oh yes,
which we talked about at length last week.
We did, yes. Is there more?
Very little update.
Mm-hmm.
They have posted an open letter to the TTRPG community.
Oh, yeah.
Dated February the 21st, which I think was Wednesday, I think.
Yes.
Yes,
What
that'd
does
be right.
this? What's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about this, please.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it on Evis Genial. Evis Genial? No, Evil Genius.
Do you mean
Wow,
Elvis? Do you mean Elvis
do
Genius?
that? What was that? Evil Genius. They put it on their blog, on their website. Basically, a letter. They sent out a letter to like volunteers and staff.
Yeah.
Like a few days before, and a few people forwarded that letter to me. And I read it, and then this was posted a couple of days later, which is basically the same letter but edited.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, because internal and external communications would be different.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that was edited out is a lot of people's names.
Fair.
At the top, it was like people who care about Evil Genius Games have said this, saying they don't necessarily believe all the things that were said, and they want Evil Genius Games to thrive. It's kind of part of the opening gambit of this.
Okay.
And at the time, listed some names, and those names are no longer in it. And those names were like industry luminaries.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I don't know why their names were removed. I was told in confidence, but I can't verify this in any way, so I've got no idea that they weren't too happy with their names being used in the thing.
but that's speculation, for us.
But I don't know. But anyway, so I won't say who they were.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, there were about 4 or 5 sort of industry luminaries who they use the names as support. But generally, the letter is just kind of all the staff have a passion for the game. I need to understand that it is their game, their company as well, not just mine, sort of thing. And I need to listen better. Essentially, is what it is.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of things they've done, like they've reviewed everyone's contracts to make sure everyone's been paid in full.
Good.
They've hired Michael Maggiotto, Gamma member, chairperson for the Market Expansion Committee, member of the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Committee, and HR consultant to the gaming industry to help like fix the work environment.
Yes. I kind of feel that's the sort of name that should be on everyone's lips.
It's quite a list of titles there.
It is.
And also, they're flying the team out to Gamma a day ahead of the show to have an off-site meeting.
Yeah.
To sit down. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure we're going to have a meeting is news, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've put out a statement, a letter to the community, just kind of saying,
Okay.
Acknowledging everything.
I mean, they've sworn off environmentally dreadful technology. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play to them. I don't want anyone to lose their job or their livelihood. I don't think we need less TTRPG game studios. So, as long as they're not being...
Yeah, I don't know how to take this.
Unwise decisions. Why not? Leave them be.
I don't feel like it really addresses things, but I don't know. Anyway. That is
the thing that happened, and you can read it and draw your own conclusions online.
Yeah, you can go read it for yourself and decide.
Yeah.
Right, is there any more news?
Not that I've seen. It's been quite quiet.
It really is, yeah.
On the old indie Kickstarter front, which is a bit of a shame. Always enjoy reporting on those, but just not seen anything cross my path.
Got anything, Jess?
Not hugely. I'm just looking at something that's interesting. So talking about gaming conventions.
Oh yeah.
There was one on Kickstarter crowding at the moment for MaricopaCon, which is in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're crowdfunding at the moment to get this convention up and running. And it plans to have space for about 400 to 500 gamers and some vendors and things like that. And it looks like it's funded, which is great.
Cool.
So, more gaming conventions going on, which is good.
I always think Phoenix is a great name for a place.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix, Arizona,
very cool
stick in your mind.
Yeah, very cool name.
Yeah.
Speaking of conventions, I think the EM Publishing team is going to a couple this year.
I mean, yes, we are.
We're going to AireCon next month. We're sponsoring the RPG Zone.
Right.
AireCon.
Okay.
Which is exciting.
And the 3 of us are going.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you are going to AireCon, we will be there. We will be in the RPG zone. We don't have a stand in the exhibit hall. Instead, what we're doing is basically demoing games all day, every day in the RPG zone is what we're doing there. We're going to have we'll have a little stand there in the RPG zone, but mainly we're there to demo games.
To play games.
And yeah, that is going to be interesting and fun.
Yes. I'm going to be running some Level Up Advanced 5th Edition. I
As
believe
am I.
Jessica is stepping up and saying, 4 slots of Level Up A5E. How tough could it be? It's like, let's go.
No, this is one of my first conventions where I'm running for people games I don't know. So that's always a little bit more nerve-wracking. Because I think running for friends and... Well, I have run a table for people I don't know before one time. That went well, so that was good. But yeah, this is my first time running for like the general public, you know.
I haven't done it much.
They're strangers that you just haven't met yet.
Yeah. And I've only done it for about an hour at a time. I haven't done any like proper 4-hour slots before.
Okay. Well, you've done 3-hour slots at the old
convention.
Club. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But there were people I knew though.
Yeah. You know to talk to a bit, so it's like it's all a matter of degree, really.
Yeah. It's a little, I think, a little more nerve-wracking at a convention, at least at first. I think.
Yeah. But you get over it.
Yeah, that'd be.
And it's quite good fun, really, because you're just entertaining people and making things pop. It's a good laugh. It's actually one of my favourite things to do, to be honest.
Yeah. So we're there for, 3 days, 4 days? I can't remember how long it is. 3 days or 4 days?
We're running games for 3 days, so the RPG zone is open Friday to Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. So we're there, we're going to be demoing Level Up. We're using the Level Up starter set. We'll be demoing that.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to come and see how pretty it is.
We'll
be demoing
We'll have
What Sword Is New
copies
again.
that exist in the world that will be there.
Yeah. The What Sword Is New starter set, again. We'll have a couple of copies. We'll have a few of those, won't we? We've got stock of that now.
We will. So we have just to US backers literally today the final wave of fulfillment is being sent out to US backers. UK and European backers have had theirs for a while now. It's going to go to general retail in April. The box set for What Sword Is New, but we're going to have a few copies for sale at AireCon. So if you some sneaky early copies, so if you are
exciting,
so if you are there and you we're doing What Sword Is New demos. When I say we, Morrus. And also Mark Kenobi.
So I'll be doing What Sword Is New demos,
and with Mark Kenobi. And so you can give it a go, see what you think, and then pick up the box set if you're interested as well.
We'll also be demoing Split the Horde, which is our card game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be coming out later this year. So we haven't got the box, but we've got like the actual some print on demand like copies of the cards with the artwork. So the quality of the cards won't be what it's not actually going to be, but you can see some of the artwork and what it looks like. So it's kind of still in that playtesting.
I haven't even seen these yet. I'm excited.
Well, they're due to arrive like this week, so exciting time.
We're going to AireCon. Come and see us at AireCon, which is up north somewhere, Harrogate, I think.
Yes.
It is in the
Harrogate
UK.
in West Yorkshire.
Yes, I've never been there before.
It's that's lovely town.
And that is on our little events section of EN World as well, because you added a thing this week.
Oh, yeah. So I added a new function to EN World, which is called Events and Releases. And what it does, it basically lists upcoming events and releases, surprisingly. Mainly at the moment, it's got like a handful of major conventions. It's got Wizards of the Coast's 2024 release schedule, and it's got a couple of Pathfinder things on there as well. So it will get filled out more as time goes on, but at the moment it literally went up like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah.
And the way this works is it shows all the upcoming stuff, so you can browse what's coming up, what big releases are coming in one place. But when you click on one, it's going to have a place where all the information about that thing is kept in one place. So if you're wondering about, say, the 2025 Monster Manual for D&D, you go to there, you click on there, and any time we get information about that, we'll put it there. So you'll go, every time you go, you look at the Monster Manual on there, it will be the most up-to-date, complete collection of information we've got, all in one place. You know, whether it's just links to interviews somewhere else, or whether it's like previews, or whether it's artwork that's been published, you know, whatever, we'll put it all there, all in one place, and we're going to do that for every product on there. So, yeah, I think it'll be really, 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 really useful.
Yeah. information online is good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a shocker.
And we've also got our stuff for
Bonjour.
Level Up on there as well, so that's
Yeah.
already on there, but probably no.
Oh, there was one other bit of news
Oh,
I
yeah?
forgot to mention. So, Lynn Kodega,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
a journalist at large, who
Yeah.
you probably know best from the coverage of the Open Gaming License
Yeah.
kerfuffle a year or so ago, and was laid off from IO9
Yeah.
a couple of months back, has launched, along with a couple of other people who were laid off from their full-time gigs, a new TTRPG news website called Rascal.news.
Yes.
Isn't their plan is to do like in-depth investigative journalism
Yes.
pieces and things
Yeah.
like that, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. They do have some free articles, but there is definitely a subscription model. Something like $50 per year. So
I think it's very early days. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine things will change quite a bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
it looks pretty, looks pretty
yeah.
good.
yeah.
Looks professional, looks good.
Well, with Linda Kerdiga working on it, there's going to be a certain emphasis on in-depth coverage, which I'll say sounds good to me.
I think it's a good thing for the industry.
Also, they said nice things about me, which was nice.
Did they?
Well,
What did they say?
They said I was the most amazing person in the entire world, and everybody should listen to my opinions at all times and do what I say.
I don't think they said that.
No, they didn't say that.
Seems likely to be fair.
I was like, I don't think.
Well, they did say. Let me call it up.
Yeah.
They should.
This is
I mean,
about
if you
EM
like,
World.
You can post it and think. I can read it out. Just use a really sarcastic voice if you like. If that's too self-aggrandizing for you.
Oh, I'd be really good at that as well.
Do you want to do that?
No, I'm joking, Raz.
No.
Go on, do it. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
all right.
All right, you do that.
Okay,
Make it
then.
to make it clear to anyone listening, we do think it's a lovely thing.
Yes,
they said.
yeah. But
Russ is being British.
Oh yeah. Morrus has been a pillar in the tabletop news reporting sphere for decades, and Ian World, a news forum locale, has long been a haunt of just about everyone in TTRPGs. Here's the section of what happened to Evil Genius shows his experience, dedication, and the trust he has engendered throughout his time within the TTRPG sphere. His investigative work is absolutely the energy I want to bring to Rascal, which is absolutely built on the heavy foundation of Ian World. And there's a lot of it, just f***ing do it, DNA to Morrus and his site. There you go. Did that make you feel a bit more comfortable?
Yes, thank you so much.
I mean, to be honest, that's actually quite accurate. I think, to be fair,
It's very nice. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is there is a new TTRPG news site, and that's right. There's a article on there at the moment with State Representative Zoe Zephyr and journalist Erin Reed talking about their history with tabletop RPGs.
Nice.
I like that.
Goodness. It's just things like that just blow me away. Can you even imagine, even as late as like the early 2000s, like somebody in politics came out and saying, actually, I quite like Dungeons and Dragons and all that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, these days it's not so surprising because it's kind of gone mainstream. But certainly 10 years ago, I was like, that would be
especially in
strange.
America as well. Yeah, crikey.
Yeah. I remember like 10, 15 years ago. Oh. Anyway, I was at my RPG club and there were people there that went that were embarrassed about their hobby and like it was very much a hush-hush thing outside of club. We don't talk about it and things. So despite them, going to the club every Friday and it being a fun hobby, it was very much like we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I definitely don't hide my hobby.
Yeah, I mean...
It'd be rather hard for me to do so, given that it's my full-time job. So.
I mean, yes. Yeah.
Friend Fighter, I'd like to introduce our new party member.
Oh, hello. Glad to have you on board. Could I ask what your speciality is?
Me? Oh, I'm a bard. I'm so glad to join you.
And we're very much looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, a little music on journeys, some inspirational words before a big fight, and, someone to sing of our exploits as we get on home. Yeah, this will be really good.
So, You're a fighter.
Well spotted, my new companion.
And you are a cleric?
Always ready with a healing spell, my friend.
What a team we shall make.
So, what was your name?
Me? A Bardy.
Bardy.
Yep, that's me.
Bardy the Bard.
All right, that's my name. Don't wear it out.
Right. Sir Bardy, what's your weapon of choice, as it were?
My weapon of choice?
It means your instrument. Do you sing? Do you play the lute?
A war drum, perhaps? Or, a rousing trumpet?
Oh, so long as it's not the bagpipes.
No, I'm a pianist.
Sorry, did I hear you right there?
Yeah, did you say pianist?
That's correct. I play the piano.
The piano.
Yes. You seem confused.
You know we're an adventuring party, right?
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
So it's long journeys, dark dungeons, treacherous terrains.
I would expect nothing less.
And you intend to bring a piano?
Do you not like the piano?
Oh, well, we like the piano just fine.
It's just not exactly portable, is it?
Oh, I'll just stick it on a wagon.
Stick it on a wagon?
Or a cart if the budget won't stretch that far.
It's not a question of the budget. You can't take a piano on a quest to defeat the grim necromancer of the obsidian wastes.
Why ever not?
It's bleeding impractical. That's why not.
I mean, have you ever been in a dungeon? Like narrow passages, pit traps, steep stairs?
I feel like you're trying to drown my star.
Sorry, do you what now?
You know, drown my star. Famous saying. All the cool kids are using it.
Look, we don't care what famous sayings the kids are using. We can't take a flipping grand piano through the spiderwood.
Can't or won't.
Look, we are going to need to scale the infinite cliffs of Stormhaven. We can't do that with a £900 piano.
We can put it on a rope.
We can't put it on a rope. We're not a removal service.
Yeah, we need to be agile, fast, quick to react.
Ready for danger, poised to fight or flee.
Which we can't do while we're lugging around an instrument the size of a, blinking banquet table.
Oh, I see where the misunderstanding lies now. No, my friends. You won't be carrying the piano.
Well, you certainly won't be. You're 4 feet tall?
I'm 5'9", you great oaf. But that is not the point.
So what is the point?
The point is, I have roadies.
You've got to be kidding me.
They will transport the piano, set it up at the side of each battle, take care of the backing singers.
The backing singers?
Of course, and the dancers.
Let me get this straight. So you don't just want to drag a piano along on our quests. You want to bring your entire entourage of roadies, backing singers, and
dancers.
Well, yes. How else will I put on a decent show when things go south?
How exactly do you plan to sneak into the dread were-badger's lair with a piano and a dozen hangers-on following you around?
Oh, that's the easiest thing in the world. The orchestra can distract them.
The orchestra? Of course it can.
Oh, yeah, obvious, I suppose, when you think about it.
Look, I don't need you yucking my yum like this. If you don't want a little bit of inspiration along the road, just say the word and we'll pack up and join the quest for the Golden Chalice instead. They are looking for a bar too.
No, it's fine. You can come.
All of you.
And your piano.
Excellent. I'm glad that's settled. I'll provide the music and you'll handle the security.
Fine.
You'll be paid 3 groats per day with a meal allowance.
Sorry, what?
Paid?
Yes, I think that's a fair rate.
Sorry, a fair rate for what?
Sorry, I'm a little confused. You are here for the security gig, aren't you? For my new tour?
Your new tour?
Yes. I'm sorry. What did you think this meeting was about?
Well, we thought we were hiring a bard to accompany us on our adventures.
I see. Yes, a little light embellishment on my part. No. I am recruiting staff for my tour. You two seem perfect for the job.
3 groats per day, you say?
That does seem quite reasonable.
Pays better than trekking through the endless swamp of decay.
My friend, you have a deal.
Oh, fantastic. Marvellous. Now, if you'll just sign these NDAs.
Malak the Maleficent here. If, like me, you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing on Patreon for exclusive bonus content every week and the warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing you are helping to keep the show going. Subscribe at patreon.com/Morrus. There, I said it. Can you stop staring at me like that now? The things I do. All right. Don't forget, patreon.com/Morrus. Can I go now?
Right, so what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about getting some pesky striders in your planes. Yes, we are talking about the Planestrider's Journal.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
which is a book what we are making.
Getting ready to launch the crowdfunder next month in March. The pre-launch page is up now. I'm getting ready to send out a load of press previews to people. So if you are a press person and not on our press list, send me an email so I can, with your permission, send it to you. If you would like to be, I can add you to the list. My email is on the contact page on EN World if you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But send me a name, the emails you want to go to it, and who you are, like a link to where you post stuff, so I know to look on it, so I can share your stuff when you talk about us.
This isn't a thinly veiled hint to Linda Cadiga that Jess would love you to look at the book, but yeah, she is a big fangirl, just saying.
I mean, to anyone, like genuinely, because there's always, because we have a press list, but I know there's people, there's always people like, oh, I'm not on that. I'm like, well, give me your email and permission to contact you, and I will. But because with the way emails and rules are things now, I can't just send it to people randomly without their permission, because that's not a good thing to do.
Rude.
But Russ, what is the Planestrider's Journal?
So if you remember Manual of the Planes, it's kind of like a Level Up's version of that. Nice. So it introduces 30, basically a new cosmology. So 30 new planes.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
More than 30, actually, because it also includes like the elemental planes and the astral seas and the ethereal veil as well. But 30 brand new planes. Yeah. Loads of player options. I think there's 17 archetypes or subclasses. Yeah. A load of feats.
14
spells
feats.
And magic items and monsters and all the other stuff that you would expect to find in a source book. And also there is an adventure for 7th level characters where you can hop through the planes and so it's a Manual of the Planes sort of.
Yes. And it's got webjammers, like planefaring ships as well.
Yes, it's got a bunch of planefaring ships and some planefaring inns and taverns as well.
So I'm excited about that.
So it's a complete source book. It's like 260 odd pages. It's gorgeous, full colour, gorgeous book. It's lovely. Cannot wait to get this one because the Kickstarter's in 2 weeks or so. I cannot wait.
Yes, it's going to be launching. Pre-launch page is up, so if people could give it a follow on there, that does help us out a lot. But it's got one thing I've been looking at this week because I've been looking to do. I'm getting press assets together and stuff, so I've been putting images together. And we have like 57 monsters that are coming out in this, which is very cool. And as part of the PDF, we're doing a VTT token pack of all the monsters as well, so which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So I've been getting all that artwork together so people can have a look at things, because there's some weird and wonderful things in here. Because when you're travelling through the planes, I don't know, Russ, do you want to talk about some of the monsters or things? Do you have any favourite ones in there that you want to...
Well, I mean, could we back up a bit? So,
sure.
Why Planestriding? Yeah, no, I mean, is this like sort of the official cosmology of A5E now?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Also, it can be used in 5e as well. We've got an appendix there for anything that you might need just to make it work in A5e, because there's a few little bits and bits. But, basically, it's for 5e as well. So you can, the D&D sort of Great Wheel cosmology.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can just jettison that and plug this one in instead.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you can just use it's a different cosmology for your game.
Mm.
Or you can just add this to it. You can just add 30 new planes to the D&D cosmology if you want, or just the ones you like. You know.
Right. So I guess I'm sort of from a narrative purpose. What was it? Just like the focus was on like offering a 1-for-1 like replacement, or was there like more at work here?
Well, generally the idea was with A5e, we don't want to just like do stuff that you can get elsewhere really easily. And adventures, I kind of feel like A5e is very much designed that you can just use 5e adventures with it.
Yeah.
So while we have done some adventures, I think our focus is kind of doing the things that aren't being done with 5e.
Yeah,
doing the things that was different.
Yeah.
So basically
there's
like
a lot
we've got
of
Void
scope
Runners
for that as well.
Yeah. So we've got Void Runners coming up as well because they're not doing that in 5e either.
Yeah.
So we don't want to just replicate everything they're doing in 5e because you can use the 5e stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't want people sitting, should I just buy Wizard's adventure about a vampire or A5e's adventure about a vampire? It's kind of
it's like that's pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah. So basically that's what it's sort of we're doing sort of like big hitting things, if you know what I mean, like big major blocks, which aren't being done elsewhere.
Yeah. Like certainly the Void Runners Codex we already mentioned. I'm excited about for the possibilities of weird fiction as well as science fiction. So for this multiverse, then what sort of design goals did you have in mind?
It was just to be a little more interesting. I don't want to say that the D&D multiverse isn't interesting because it is actually quite cool. But
like obviously you're a fan of like the D&D cosmology. So what was the thing?
I mean, it's not like totally different. There's still a wheel there. There's still the elemental planes there. There's still the astral seas. There's still the ethereal veil, as we call those two planes.
Yeah.
We've got more elemental planes, and the elemental planes have actual names.
Oh, okay.
They're not just called the elemental plane of fire.
Yeah. Okay, so it's sort of like that because you do need with the magic system, you do need planes and cosmology because things have to come from a place, which I know sounds ridiculous. But it's certainly one of the problems I ran into when I first was doing some world building in 5e, which was I didn't have planes like that because I was like, that looks like a lot of reading and I don't need it. So I tend to cut things out.
Yeah.
I cut out too much. I didn't have like an ethereal plane. I just had like, a mystical forest that people walked through to get to where they were going.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, this is kind of a player resource.
Okay, yeah.
And a GM resource. So
got that sort of broad appeal.
Yeah, it's about half and half, I think.
So you can use it as a player to like use your background sort of thing.
Oh, that as well, because
some of the feats as well.
Some of the archetypes and feats kind of like assume you come from one of those planes or have been to one of those planes. Or some of those feats, one of the prerequisites is to have visited a plane before you can take that feat.
Yeah.
And I just love this book. I mean, like the archetypes. We've got archetypes for every class in A5e.
Oh, nice.
Well, more than one because we've got 17 archetypes. So across all of the classes. And the archetypes are generally kind of linked to various planes as well. That where you might have come from. So, for example, there's the Ashbourne, which is a sorcerer archetype that comes from Tunisia, which is basically a Tatooine plane. It's a plane of sand and desert.
Yes. Tunisia or Junesia or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Like, watch out for the sandworms.
Yeah. Or there's the Crowdcaster, which is a wizard archetype, and it's basically if you come from Terrapolis, which is a plane which is one massive, like infinite city.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like buildings and buildings and buildings and buildings. It's like Coruscant, but medieval, I guess. Yeah. And there's just no privacy because it's so crowded that you're never away from other people ever.
Wow, okay.
And so this is a wizard archetype which is really good at using the power of crowds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So just like being in a densely crowded city is like a really good thing for you because you can start drawing on the power of the crowds around you.
Yeah, polymancy or something. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So we got like 17 of those.
Yes. I noticed that there's quite a bit more. I mean, like, just so listeners are aware, Russ has very kindly done me an advance copy so that we can have a talk about this. And there's certainly some good stuff here. I noticed like you've got maybe a bit more of a emphasis on, I don't want to say body horror because I haven't looked into it, but you've got warriors with clawed arms and fungal druids.
Yeah, we do have a content warning in there.
Yeah.
There are some... I mean, it's nothing, like, super horrible, but there are, like... because we're trying to explore the weird...
Yeah.
Some of it's weird, some of it's horror-y, some of it's... because it's a planar book, you can hit basically every different genre, in a way, with different planes.
Yeah.
And all these planes are, like, different genres and different feels and different tones.
Wow.
Like, one of them might be quite a comedic, like, light-hearted sort of plane. One of them is really, really horrible, So we've got a content warning.
Yeah.
Where several of the planes just might have things that might bother you or might not, but the warning's there. You can either
Depends on your table, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose the age range of your players, like if you're running for younger players, you might want to stay more like house grounds. And if you fancy something a bit weirder, then you can definitely go for some of these other places. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking Hellraiser here. It's not.
No.
It's not.
It's just like if you're like going, I don't want to replace my arms with claws, then you might not enjoy this. In fact,
yeah.
But I did notice you've got like the Planestrider and Realm Walker for the Ranger and Adept class respectively, and those seem to be about archetypes that go exploring and travelling the planes.
Yes, yeah,
that does sound very cool. Can you tell us a bit more about those?
Sure. Which one would you like me to talk about first? Which one strikes your fancy?
I mean, I gotta say, Planestrider. The book is practically named
in the
after.
title.
Yeah. The eponymous one has to be the one to lead off. Yeah.
Well, so that one's for the Ranger.
Yes.
This is Rangers in A5e don't cast spells.
Yeah.
Unless the archetype's pushing set. So this is a spellcasting archetype. So you're a half spellcaster as well.
Yeah.
But basically, you know a lot about the planes. You're familiar with all the inhabitants of other planes and things like that. You're able to travel between the planes a lot more easily, like using planar portals and things like that.
Right.
So it's an archetype for a ranger, basically. And I guess your favourite terrain is the cosmos, I guess. It's kind of it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, have there been any big changes made to the planes or like little extra things? Because I've seen stuff like astral behemoths in Plane, so are there similar big argorbles lurking around in the Never between worlds?
I've forgotten how many monsters it was. How many monsters was it, Jess? It was quite a lot, wasn't it? 57 monsters.
Woo.
Yeah.
She says, having written a press release.
So the biggest one's called a terraforming detritivore.
Oh, okay, so it's sort of...
Not a very easy thing to say.
Terraforming detritivore, so it's sort of like a giant gargantuan thing that shapes worlds and eats detritus?
Yeah, it's like Challenge 23 and native to the Gyre.
Right.
So the Gyre there's a couple of sort of like big sort of planes like the Far Realm, which are kind of separate to all the others.
Quite chaotic and lots of stuff.
Well, the Gyre is where planes go to die.
Oh,
and it's like all these broken planes and a mix of all. It's just like a graveyard, like this chaotic, as you say, like massive broken remains of planes.
Right.
So the terraforming I can't say that word. Detritivores.
Yeah.
Sort of like responsible for like kind of like they're kind of like I don't want to say the cleaners. they're kind of they're more almost massive like gargantuan millipedes or centipedes sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they have this sort of planar silk that comes out of them, and they kind of stitch the bits of the broken planes together into sort of like a sort of semi-stable kind of thing that you can visit.
Yeah. Oh, that's sort of like putting me in mind of like that Stephen King story, completely failing. It's just like they came and ate everything.
Yeah.
I'll remember as soon as we get offline.
They've got a disintegrating ray that comes out of their mouth in a 90-foot, 15-foot wide cone that automatically disintegrates any non-magical creatures and objects.
I see. Yeah, okay.
I mean, this is basically what they use to clean up the remnants of planes, but also, if you start a bit of a fight with one, you don't want to get in the way of that.
Note to self, don't be disintegrated.
Don't be disintegrated. That is a good life lesson.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
I'll
You should
write
get
a
that on a
good rule in
t-shirt.
life. It's an excellent rule in life. Yeah, so there's loads and loads of monsters in there. There's 50... I still can't remember how many it was, even though they just told me 2 seconds ago.
57.
57 monsters going from Challenge 0 all the way up to Challenge rating 23.
Nice.
So there's
Lots and lots and lots
big
of them.
range for all different levels and different encounters
Yeah.
and things. There's also like 11 exploration challenges in there as well.
Yeah.
We all always love a good
We
exploration
all
challenge
love an exploration challenge.
chuck into your session as well. So there's
True.
11
Yeah.
of those as well.
Yeah. So we've got like, if you're familiar with the Elisar cosmology, there's Nolda and Sulyona, which are basically their kind of versions of hell and heaven, respectively.
Yeah.
So they're in there. Nolda's quite cool.
Mm.
Quite cool, I think. There's going to be more stuff about Nolda in Monstrous Menagerie 2, where
Oh, yes.
some of the archfiends there are detailed in Monstrous Menagerie 2 later this year. So that ties into that book a bit. But Nolda is basically kind of hell, I guess. It's not... We don't have, like, hell and the abyss
Yeah.
and demons and devils and chaos and law in the same way that...
Yeah, because there was a big shift away from alignment.
Yeah. So basically, we just kind of talk about fiends, really.
Yeah.
Like, whether they're demons or devils, that's just it's just like, mortal scholars try and categorise these fiends in various ways, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not, demon, devil, whatever. But we talk about fiends, and they don't, like, live on different planes. They're kind of...
They're all jammed together.
Yeah. And then we got templates as well, like, so you can have a fiendish template or a celestial template that can be applied to any creature. So you can have fiendish dragons there and fiendish...
Like there's a skeletal and undead templates in the Monstrous Menagerie. So you've extended that. Oh, okay. Wow. That, This is a much bigger resource than I was certainly expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing that popped up to me, and like, it's I noticed we've got a bit of a break from the level up tradition, and there's actually a character that's sort of doing a bit of an introduction. This is it Captain Cobalt? Is that?
Yes. Yeah. So we'll have a character sheet. Well, we've actually got one here. We just haven't published it yet. There's a character sheet ready for him. Oh. And Captain Cobalt is a plane-striding pirate, basically.
Nice.
Who explores the planes, and he was very kind and penned the introduction, and that wasn't me that wrote that at all. It was definitely Captain.
That's where we got this information about the various planes from this.
Right.
So the conceit is kind of like this book is his journal in a way.
Yeah.
Because he's a Planestrider. Yeah.
So what you'll see throughout, you'll see little comments from him. So like, there's the entire list of planes.
Yeah.
There's a big old list of the trains, but he's got a little comment for each one. It's sort of like Questio, a realm of endless ocean. He just notes that it's profitable.
Yeah.
Or Korskunath has the best night sky. Or Lexau, aggressive and lethal plane where everything is deadly. Avoid in big capital letters.
Yeah.
What does he say about Objectio?
Objectio, he says, an orderly place where objects are people, some of the travellers transformed by the plane, entertaining, but set a hard departure date.
Yes, this is my favourite plane because it's just so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you sit on a chair or did you sit on your host?
It's well, depends how well you know them, Peter, and the kind of relationship you have, I guess.
Whereas Valhall, which is kind of Valhalla, he says good taverns. Just comment on that.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, you take to live your whole life, die in battle, and then go to a place where he serves bad. But that would be good. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got another thing that happens here is we've got elemental spiders. That's the kind of thing.
Elemental
so in between the
spiders.
planes and in the astral seas and the ethereal plane, we have got basically arachnids which prey on travellers.
Oh.
And they're not very nice. And you may have seen hints of these before in earlier products when you may have come across things like the Fate Holder and things like that.
Oh, sorry. I was just looking for the elemental spiders, and I found the cloud spider, which is
yes,
like it's using the Porsche hunting spider as a model, and they are just so cute. Oh, look, that's literal spider, the geo spider. Oh, Oh.
Yeah,
And
we've got all
they're
those.
all
We've got-
very cute, and then you hit the fake holder on page 64, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, the fake holder,
less cute,
and then we got
less cute.
the shadow spinner on page 67 there.
Oh.
These like haunt the ethereal veil and hunt travellers of the ethereal veil.
Oh, yeah, like, watch out for the arachnophobes. I mean, that is sort of it's like a luminous purple wolf spider with a touch of black widow about the incredibly large bulbous abdomen. So
So there's a spidery, and also we talk about in other books because we've hinted at planar stuff before, and we've had people like the spider folk and people like that. In Gate Pass Gazette, Gate Pass Gazette.
It's got the fake holders and spider folk.
And the ethereal scout culture and things like that. And we've had things like the Dreamborn heritage, which comes from the Dreaming Wilds and the Fey Court in the Dreaming.
Yeah.
So all the things that we've mentioned in other places, we reference in here too.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Are you reprinting the material, or is that
no?
Is that
I think we've written one monster, but generally speaking, we literally just put out Gate Pass Gazette. Annual 2023 that has this in it, and I think it would be a bit mean to ask people to go and literally 2 months later pay for the same stuff again. But we do have an appendix at the end, which basically tells you where you can find all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, goodness.
And we put sidebars and reference to things as well.
Yeah.
Rather than reprinting it, we say,
Yes, I did notice there was a reference to Gate Pass Cadet. Which I'm a big fan of making references to where you can find the other stuff, because that's always going to help.
And there's a link in the appendix as well, which hints to the Monstrous Menagerie 2, which is coming out later this year, because there's a section that says these are also found in the Monstrous Menagerie 2. So they'll be coming out later this year and that as well.
Well, there's the 3 rulers of sort of Angolem, which is a big city in Nolda, which is kind of our hell. Massive corrupt city, ruled by a triumvirate called Axia, Dominus, and Vindica.
Okay.
Who are basically always plotting against each other, and they rule this immense city, which is like 100 miles wide. It's really big. And it's a horrible place to be.
Yeah.
But people do still visit it because it's also one of those. This is also, Mos Eisley of the plains in a way. And if you want to do anything illicit, and as long as you don't break any of the rules, you're in trouble.
At times, yeah. Oh, I mean, I've just come across page 72, which has the whole full colour laid out diagram of the everything.
Yes, so that's the planar diagram.
I mean, I can certainly describe some of these things. You want to walk us through some of the bits? So we've got the Waking,
which is prime material, as D&D calls it. So the Waking is where we are now. It's the real, it's your campaign world. It's and then wherever that is, and then we've got the Dreaming and the Bleak Gate, which are kind of like our spins on Feywild and.
What's Shadowfell.
I literally forgot. Shadowfell, which are spins.
I got people who play strong names.
Well, people who've been playing our stuff will recognise those from Zeitgeist. We've had those around for years and years. So it's been part of our cosmology for over a decade, more than a decade.
Oh, absolutely. So that's explicit. And there's 3 little suns. Is that right, or is that just decoration? In gems.
Suns. Oh no, so they're planes.
Oh, okay. Just above it, like the yellow, the purple, and the blue one.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. I'm just looking at them.
Yeah.
So we got then the elemental planes. So we got the ones that you're kind of familiar with, but they've got names. So we've got Jez, the plane of fire. We got Urim, the plane of earth, and Mavisha, the plane of water, and Kaloon, which is the plane of air.
They are very striking. And then breaking, and then are those interstitial planes? What's that?
Yeah, well, they're also elemental planes, but they're not the cardinal elements. So there's 4 cardinal elemental planes, but there are other elemental planes.
And they sort of have the mixed sort of planes. I guess Cryos, I'm guessing from the name, that would be sort of a frozen.
That's a plane of cold,
so that's midway between Mavisha, the water, and Kaloon, Okay, So
we've got
that's interesting,
Nem is the plane of death, Asketia, the plane of time,
right.
Which is watched over by sphinxes, and it's a place where the mirages of the past and flickering glimpses of possible futures cause you to often forget where you are.
Nice.
You've got Av, the plane of life. Choron, the plane of space. It's got these geometrical palaces and platforms of pure force that orbit and interlink and make hypercubes and tesseracts and other weird things.
That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah.
And we've got
a sort of like a wider circle around these still. What does that represent?
So they're just kind of like the outer planes, the further outer planes. So Silyana and Nolda are kind of like
heaven.
They're kind of. I mean, they're planes, so they're not a physical distance away. But they're kind of a little more distant in the sort of non-3-dimensional structure that is a plane of cosmology. Silyana being kind of the heavenly upper planes, and Nolda being the sort of hellish lower planes.
Where the feet.
They're kind of a bit further. Yeah.
And then I suppose around that we've got the astral seas.
Yeah, so all of this floats in the astral seas.
Yeah. And in one corner we've got the far realm, which is I must say the big eyeball is a strong look. Strong luck.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. No pun intended, but it is now.
Yeah.
And that's where we'd get like aberrations, is that right?
Yeah, the mythosy themed horror stuff.
Yeah. And so I guess
then we've got the Gyre at the other corner, which is
where planes go to die.
Oh, okay.
So I guess is the far realm then where there's sort of like a generative force, like that's where
I think that's actually in D&D as well, isn't it? The far realm, is it? I'm not 100% sure. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So how many pages of planes? There's 30 new planes plus
the transitive planes.
Plus the transitive and which is the astral seas and ethereal veil and elemental planes. So it's probably close to like 40 actual planes, but in detail there's 30. So it goes from page 70 to page 227. How many pages of planes is that? That's quite a lot of pages of just planes.
Lots.
Yeah,
it's 150 pages of planes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give or take.
We've got things like the Children of Zev and Zevanchists.
Mm.
And what, they're pirates that sail the astral...
Yeah, so they come from Gate Pass Gazette as well.
Yeah.
So you can find more information about them. So they're cultures and heritages that you can take.
But they hate Kalkoi, apparently,
Mm.
who are, of course, the big wasp outsider enemies that feature quite prominently with it.
Well, we've got the home of the Kalkoi on here, Ambitio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where the Kalkoi kingdom is.
We love a parasitic wasp.
Who doesn't love a parasitic wasp?
Yeah. Fearsome beasts. We came across a Kalkoi spawn in a recent adventure, and did not care for it. Did not care for it at all. I can tell you that right now.
Not very nice.
Yeah, so the pheromones, the chaos pheromones were a big problem.
Yeah.
But we managed to prevail in the end. So good times.
So the spell's quite cool as well. Quite like Transform Head, a 3rd level spell.
Yeah.
The target's head transforms into the same item used as the material component for the spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
we've got a bunch of different spells. Gravitas is quite good. You focus and shift gravitational energy. We got Golden Weapon. You get this sort of like a weapon teleports from the vaults of Valhalla into your hand, and it's this golden melee weapon of your choice.
What I like about the spells in this is that they're very flavourful, and when I make characters generally, because we all know there's always an optimal way to create characters, and it's like, well, if you're making this type of character, these are the best spells to get, and if you can make it that way, and that's great. But I think sometimes it's fun to make characters and choose spells that just match the vibe of the character, and a lot of these would be great for that because it had character leanings and ideas of their backstory and things like that. So a lot of these spells seem really good for me from that angle.
I would say, actually, I don't think that's strictly true, that there is an optimal way to make a character. Because...
I don't think there is one, but there's always,
There are some things that are clearly better choices than others, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think it's, evident what those are, or, as evident... Because there's just so many more combinations out there. I think, given a couple of years and people happily beavering away, then might find some more. But currently, I think the clearly, obviously correct ways to play are a lot less frequent than they were in.
Oh yeah. But I more meant there's some spells that people are like, yeah, you definitely want to have this spell because it's just all around a good egg and it's very powerful and things like that. So they're generally builds.
Why wouldn't you have Fireball?
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Exactly. So there are lots of
Yeah.
builds that people have that have a lot of the. So there's some spells that are more popular than others, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's nice being able to sort of have enough stuff there that wizards don't feel the same.
Yeah. I mean, certainly there is like a whole section on web ships.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which we haven't even started about.
These are gorgeous. These are gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, so plane of vehicles, because obviously you can use portals and you can use spells and different ways of travelling between the planes. But another way you can do it is by using these web ships. And we've got a bunch of them. We've got the Bootlegger, the Sipsella, the Fate Naught, which is a legendary individual one.
I mean, it's Titanic. I think that's bigger than Gargantuan? Question mark.
Yes, yeah. Titanic doesn't have an upper size limit, but it's bigger than Gargantuan.
Yeah, like 8
Quite
cannons,
large.
4 fate shots, whatever they are, and a Weber.
Yeah,
So
so we've got details on this.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got details on these weapons. So fate shots and webbers.
Yeah.
And details on like that weaponry as well. But basically, web jammers, shadow spinnerets, Valhai longships.
Yeah.
Various different sort of ships that you can use to travel between the planes. And in the adventure, you get to use one as well. You stumble across one in a cove, and you can travel between the planes with it.
In the adventures, you say? Are there adventures in this book?
There's an adventure.
An adventure. Nice.
An adventure at the end.
Oh.
It is.
What levels is that for?
It's for level 7.
Nice.
Yeah, which is a departure from us, because generally we're always doing first level adventures.
Yeah. Like onboarding.
We're finding we're doing that a lot. So we're trying to do a few things that aren't. And we kind of figure this book is going to be bought by people who are already playing.
Yeah.
You're not going to introduce people to the game with this book. So we thought this is a good place to put a higher level adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking, once you get into this sort of like, the late 5s, maybe in the 10s, you want to be out and about because the mere perils of the mortal world are not sufficient anymore. So, okay.
Yeah. So, the Saga of Surum is the adventure. You start off in the Waking, the prime material plane. You stumble across a web jammer in a cove.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you end up having an adventure traversing the planes.
Yeah.
You visit various different planes in a mission. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. You visit different planes. Yeah. I won't say all of that. You visit different planes.
It's an opportunity to use the book.
Yeah.
Which is what you want for an adventure in the book. It's like, hey, this is how you can introduce this content.
Yeah.
But I think because there's so many different planes and stuff in here, it's so easy to fit into your own world and game that you have.
Yeah. But you can definitely pick a mix.
Yeah, so you can absolutely pick a mix. Because when I was looking at it, I was thinking about it from that aspect. I was like, I can see how, I'd bring those elements in and stuff. So
Which like? Yeah.
I did quite like Lexal.
Yeah.
Lexal.
Right. Yeah. Go and have a look at Lexal and tell me what it reminds you of.
Okay. Boop.
Let me find the page number for you. It is on page
157.
157.
Yeah.
The artwork is.
So does it say anything to you?
Oh, is this the one? Yeah, the
Lexal.
atmosphere.
Oh, I see some.
I'm seeing
sort of
highlights such as
pteranodons.
exploding bones, aggressive air, extreme excrement.
Cloying spores. Always a favourite.
And covered with Zenids.
Seniors.
Is this your love letter to Alien?
Mike's love letter to Alien, not mine.
Yeah, Mike, sorry. Yeah.
But, yes, yeah.
I didn't know which bits
Basically,
because I know you've written some bits and I know Mike's written bits, so I didn't know one bits.
I've written very little in this. I wrote the intro and I've done some bits and pieces, and a couple of sidebars. But Void Runner I've written a lot of, but this one
not so much.
Mainly Mike.
This is Mike's
It was a team. There were other people, but Mike was definitely the lead designer on this one.
Oh yes, and I'm looking at the Zenid, their picture, and it looks.
Yeah.
It's got like 6 arms.
Yes,
yeah, it's a creature stood up bipedally. It's got so it's octopodal in body shape, which I guess those spiders are super strong theme. It's got a pair of octopus-like tentacles coming out the back, which have that signature triform claw, and also it's got like more hand shapes. So I don't know. Are Zenith someone that one would talk to? Is the question.
Well, there's a stat block there on page 159. So I mean, they've got 15 intelligence. They're challenge 8.
But no language.
They don't have no languages. I don't think you would talk to them.
Yeah.
I think they're intelligent, but not.
I think you could talk at them, but I'm not sure what you would get back.
Yeah. I think they would just kill you. I think that's basically the idea. They are horrible, horrible creatures that just want to slaughter.
Right, that you're supposed to capture and traffic in because they are worthwhile for reasons unspecified. Okay, well that's intriguing.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I'm playing. I mean, I love this book. It's just
I feel like it's a very pretty book.
Many different, and there's so many different things in there. Like if one plane doesn't speak to you, the next plane might.
Yeah.
And they're all so different. You know, some of them are quirky, some of them are dangerous, some of them are, you know, heroic. Some of them are like they're all very different to each other. Anyway, was there anything else that we haven't touched on in this book?
Probably.
We've kind of covered quite a lot of it.
Probably lots of things we haven't touched upon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much enjoying the way the book's laid out. Got a lovely blue and gold effect, which is always... I do always enjoy looking at the Ian Publishing books because they're generally very pretty. And
and I think Frank's layout is always gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very good. And
I'm very lucky to have Frank.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like the art style throughout is like really good. And I noticed there's like some public domain stuff that's sort of like in there as well. But it really,
there's a couple of bits,
like I saw a Bosch painting, anonymous Bosch, and I thought that was actually really well placed. So yeah, it's it looks very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to have a special edition of this as well, because we always do.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be purple, did we?
We haven't chosen the colour yet. Emma and I were talking about that literally today. So we're asking the printer for different samples. Like all of our books, we do the faux leather cover with the gold embossing and things. And so we want them to be the same, so that if you're collecting them, it is a collection. So we're just...
Talking of collector's editions, we're starting to run out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This might be one of the last ones where we have the... So when we do a print run of the collector's ones, we only do one and that's it. And so now I think we have about 20, after we're doing fulfillment for the current campaigns where people have, reserved them. I think we've got about 20 to 30 left of the Adventurer's Guide and Trials and Treasures. So they will be on the Kickstarter page as add-ons, but there'll be the limited amount that we have. Because what I don't want to do is someone to get it and then we've run out and that'd be a thing. But we are still deciding on the colour. So I think on the Kickstarter page for now, there's like going to be a black and white one whilst we just confirm the colour.
Anyway, yeah.
No,
so
like a lot to love in the books.
It's a gorgeous book. And I think it's just, just for, even if you're a 5e player and just want some bits and pieces, you can just like grab these planes and just use them.
Yes. Yeah.
If you just want your, if you're playing Planescape or something, and you just want to like send your players off to a different plane, you can just grab one of these planes and just insert these planes into your cosmology. You don't have to use it en masse. You can use it piecemeal if you wish.
Very good.
Yeah. And so just coming to Kickstarter in a couple of weeks, the coming soon page is up. So if you go along there and click on that, you'll be reminded when it launches.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling through the feats, having a look around, going, "Whoa, look at these!"
Lots of feats, yeah.
But we're doing previews on Level Up 5e on our news page. So if you also want to have a look at things, there's little snippets and bits and pieces that Russ is posting up every so often on there. And if you're a press person, you can email me and I'll give you some little preview things. Not the whole book, but maybe some little snippets to whet your whistle.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, this art is really nice. I am liking it. So consistent and just really all hangs together
last
really
year
nicely.
we got Emmett Comack joined the team, and part of his role was to bring some consistency across our art.
Having an art director kind of coordinating that stuff really, really helps.
So that's the direction we want to kind of go in with it. So Emmett's been overseeing that to bring that all together.
Bang up job. I think it's really good. There. This is the first time I've seen the book, and I'm really impressed. There's a lot of really good stuff here. So great job.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Not that you need my approval, obviously.
I'll take all of the credit.
Well done, Russ.
See that list of credits on the front page? I'm taking all of their credit.
Yeah.
No, there is a lot of people involved, and you can see the credits on the front page.
Yeah, there we go.
Big old group of people.
Appendix D other sources. That's what we were talking about earlier, where they've got all the various Geek Pass gazettes and so forth.
Yeah. It just points you where you can find other stuff, and all that stuff is kind of on a5e.tools as well. So it's not like you even have to go and buy it.
No.
You can just get
it for free. And very a bit.
We'd like it if you bought it.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to.
it would be a worthwhile book to acquire, and even the PDF is a pleasure to look through. I like the reference. It's all fully bookmarked and everything, which is always a concern for people. So great stuff.
Yeah. Yes, and then we've got right at the back, we've got all the content indices and stuff as well to make it really easy to find stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Which always helps.
And certainly the Monsters by Challenge rating is always solid.
Yeah, but I think that's a no-brainer these days. You kind of have to. If you're not putting a Monsters by Challenge rating thing at the back of a book that's got a lot of monsters in it, you're doing something wrong, I think. It needs to be in there.
Can't disagree, mate. Can't disagree.
Right, anyway, I think we're probably done then, are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for letting me have a look at the book. I'm quite excited. When's the Kickstarter dropping? March?
Early March, but the pre-launch page is up now.
Yeah, 2 weeks on Tuesday, I think.
Yep.
Is that right?
I think that's
Okay,
the
so
plan.
that'll be Tuesday, 5th of March.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
But the pre-launch page is up, so if you go like that, it'll let you know when we do.
Looking forward to it.
Okie dokie then.
That's all for this week.
Until next week.
See you
Get
across
out
the
of
plains.
Bye.
Apparently I now have to read this to you. This is the official podcast of Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG news, which you can find at enworld.org. You can find show notes at morris.podbean.com or wherever you found the podcast. If you feel like they deserve it, you can support the show on Patreon. In return, you will receive exclusive bonus content. Just go to patreon.com/Morris. If you're interested in his babbling nonsense, you can follow at Morris on the Twitter. Send your emails to morrispodcast@gmail.com. Not all of your emails, just the ones you want us to see. That's it. I'm bored now. You can go away. Shoo, off you go. Goodbye. Get out of here.
Sorry, Peter, when you talk,
Yes?
it seems like you're on mute for the first half of your sentence, and then you come in.
Oh. 1 second. I think I've discovered the problem. Which is, you were having problems with your... let's see.
Did Marvin come over and eat a part
How's
of your
that?
computer?
Is this a bit better?
Yes.
Yes. You see, if I plug my microphone in, it actually works better. True story.
You didn't have your microphone plugged in?
No, I've been clearly using the laptop mic, so... not intentionally, but there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe we should start doing a sound check at the start of the thing, just to make sure we can all hear each other properly.
Yeah, that's what sound checks are for. Yeah, that's why they invented sound checks.
After, what's it now, 6 years with great sound checks. And that was Biddy slapping his forehead.
6 year we were to basic competence 101.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've reached basic competence, but I think we can aspire for it.
No level of competence at all.
It is our way.